So I have another screen recording that I'm going to do to help students understand how to prepare their PowerPoint presentations for individual assignments. So to start with, I am in my Chrome browser on my Mac, and I have logged in to the Canvas site with Western Nevada College. So you can see westernnevadacollege.edu. If you click this little Canvas icon up here at the top upper right of the main WNC.edu campus, that'll bring you into the Canvas screen. It'll ask you to log in and put in your password. Every student should have one, every instructor should have one. I've already done that, and I've brought up the module for ART100, section 1001. And I'm looking in the student view, so this is what my students will see once they start the class. And we have things set up by module, so I have a getting started module, and I have a format, shape, and line, which is the first assignment. So within the first assignment, you'll see here there's the assignment itself, and then there's a PDF score sheet that tells you the student how I'm going to score individual assignments. And then finally there's an assignment 1 format, shape, and line PowerPoint file. So what you're going to do is click that link, and I've pre-formatted this PowerPoint file so that all you have to do is download the file and plug and play. So how do you download that? Once you've clicked on that link in the module, Canvas module, you're just going to click this download assignment 1 format, shape, and line PowerPoint. So once you click that download link, it'll ask you where you want to put it. You're going to save it off somewhere where you can access it. I've already done that. I have the file here. So once you're inside, this is formatted how it needs to be in order for you to complete this portion of the assignment. So at the beginning we have assignment 1 format, shape, and line, and you have to define all these terms for this assignment. So you're just going to click inside each box. So in your lecture you were given the definition of all these terms, so you'll be referring to your notes, and then you just come in here and type in the definition for each term as you look at your notes. So you'll want to make sure you take good notes. So then as you go, you'll just type right into these boxes. The font size should already be right. And if you need more space, you can always go and insert a new slide. I'll go ahead and do that for you just so you can see how that works. So I've typed some in. I've run out of room in this column to find all these terms for this column. So I'm going to insert, and I'm going to say duplicate this slide. So now this is the first slide, this is the second slide. So if this is the second slide and I'm down here for ground and I have to define ground and I didn't quite fit on the first page, now I'll just type that in. I'll delete all before that, and now I'll type the definition of ground on the second page. So keep these columns so that the teacher, when she's grading, can go back and find your answers really quickly. Keep the columns intact. So if you need more space, if all of these definitions don't fit on the first page, create a second page and continue those in the same column. And then, so those will be all your format general terms and format terms, and then all your shape terms will be in the second column, and all your line terms will be in the third column. If you need to go to a second page, just duplicate, delete the information that you've already put in your first page and just continue typing. Okay, so that's how you input all the different terms. So you will get every one of these terms in the lecture, so you'll need to be keeping notes. Okay, the next part of it is to type in your theme. This was exercise 0. So you're going to type in your theme that you came up with in that previous exercise. So say your theme is cars, all things cars, or whatever your theme is. And then you're going to put in the images that you created. Now you're going to have to paint some or draw some original images that are associated with the first part of this exercise. So now you're going to find those images where you've saved them and taken a picture of those images. So you're going to find those pictures and you're going to insert the picture by going to this menu bar across the top, insert, come down to picture, and then it'll ask you to import from file. So you will have previously saved off your file someplace. That was a previous tutorial. And you're going to come into the place where you have saved those pictures. So I have a file that's WNC for fall, and I'm just going to use a student example for this in assignment 1. So for instance, this is the first part of assignment 1. I'm going to hit insert and that picture will go into that file. I'm going to move it over because I need more. I need to put in 3 images, so I'll get all 3 images in there first. And it should go back to the one you were just, or the folder that you were just previously in. It should go back to it directly the next time you hit insert. If it doesn't, just remember where you saved your files. Okay, and then the third picture from file. So these pictures I have had permission from previous students in order to use them as examples. But you'll note these are very small images, so I really want to make sure you're clear on making your images as good as possible by following the image preparation tutorial. These were really tiny images, and once I make them big like this, they're going to be very pixelated if I try to print them. The next thing I want you to do is put an image caption so that I know what this is. It's exercise 1.1, so you're going to add a little text box. Pull that text box down in here. And I'm going to say whatever this first assignment was. Exercise 1.1 is oval format. You're going to tell me what the medium is. This looks like pen. You're going to also tell me what line you're using, what types of line you're using, line, styles, etc. And then you want to format the text down. So I'm going to make it not so big, so I'm going to change it to 11 font. And then I want to put these 2 images so they are attached together. So I'm going to click one on the outer bar, the grab bars. I'm going to click somewhere on the outer bar so I get all of that selected. Then I'm going to hold the shift key down and I'm going to select the image. And then I'm going to come over here to my arrange bar. If I'm in the home tab, the arrange tool, I'm going to hit the down arrow. I'm going to align it so that they are aligned to the center. See that? So, and then once I do that, I can also group them so that when I move one, I move the other. If I want to align the tops of all 3 of these images, I'm going to select the first one. Now I'm going to select the second one and the third one. And I'm going to go back to my arrange and I'm going to align, but I want to distribute horizontally across the page so the spacing is the same between images as well. And now I'm going to align them so that they are aligned to the middle. Each one is aligned to the middle. or I can align them to the top, whichever you prefer. So this is your exercise 1 images. Okay, then the next one, exercise 2 images. Again, you're going to click inside this theme box, and all things cars is my theme. Maybe I should put that in title case. Maybe I don't want it to be bold. I can take bold off, so you can do all kinds of formatting right there. Or you can make it italics so that it looks like a title, and bold, however you want to adjust your text. So exercise 2 images. For this one there should just be 1 image. So once again I'm going to go back to where I've saved the image of my assignment. I'm going to go Insert, Picture from File. I want you to make this file as big as possible. So here's an example of exercise 2. So I'll insert that in. So I'm going to make that as big as possible. And if you've done your image right, you should have a very nice big image that's not going to be pixelated when you make it large like this. Alright, but it's not centered on the page, is it? So I want to make sure that when you select it, you can arrange it, and you can come down here and distribute it horizontally on the page so that it's centered left to right. You can also align it vertically to the page. But if I do that, then it covers up some of my text, so I don't want to do that. Another thing you can do is adjust the order of the image. So these are all objects. This is a text object, this is a text object, this is a text object, this is an image object. I can put those in layers and orders as they go back. So I want you to, if you want to send to the back, that sends this picture behind the text, so then you can see the text on top of the image. If you put this image, bring to the front, now if I move the image, it covers up the text. So you want to make sure, so this is how you grab it, somewhere in the middle, you get it, you can move it all around. But if I do that, then I want to make sure I've distributed it again so that it's distributed evenly and centered on the page. I want you to make your image as big as possible on the page. If you'll note down here, there's a section that says student name. I want you to double click inside there and put your own name in there. Don't leave student name. And you'll want to do that on every page. So John Smith might be your name. So make sure you change that as well. The pagination should update if you add a new page. So make sure you change your name on every page. You can do it on the first page, and then, so if you come back here to the first page, you can change it there, and then select the outer bar and copy it, and then just delete that one so you don't have to type it each time, and hit paste. And paste it. So if you've copied it the first time, maybe that's the first thing you want to do. Just paste that in there. Come to this page, delete that one. So in order to delete it, you have to click on the outer bar, delete it, and then paste. Maybe that should be your first step, is to get your name in there first. And let's make sure the pagination updated when I put that extra page in there. So I went 1, that's correct. Page 2, that's correct. Page 3, so even though I duplicated the page, the pagination updated automatically. So it's set to do that, so you shouldn't have to mess with the pagination. So if your images are good, you can put all 3 of these images for exercise 1 on one page, or you can put them on individual pages. I prefer they're on individual pages because then I have a better image and I can show off your artwork to the next set of students next semester. Again, don't forget to put an image caption for every image. Okay, one thing you can do is once you've created one caption, click the outer bar, copy that, and then paste that as a starting point. Pull that down, and you can say exercise 2.1, actual still life. So then you don't have to redo the formatting each time. So copy and then paste it again. Grab the outer bar, move it over, exercise 2.2. Click inside it, and if you click inside a text box, then you can adjust the text. Exercise 2.2 is organic still life. And see how that wrapped around? You can adjust the outer bars by clicking and pulling like this. So because this is one image and you're making multiple captions for that image, you're not going to be able to do the alignment, but I'll show you what you can do in a second. So again, copy and paste that so you don't have to redo the formatting each time. And this will be exercise 2.3 is the zoomorphic still life. Okay, you'll note that the text is aligned to the left. It's easier to work with if you align it to center inside that text box. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to have that selected, and now I'm going to hold the shift key down and select that one and this one, and I'm going to align it so all of these text boxes are aligned to the top. So now they're aligned. And then I also want to distribute them, align, distribute them horizontally on the page. So while they're all selected, I'm going to right click my mouse and I'm going to group them. So now I do want to make my image just a little bit smaller so that my text isn't overlapping my footer information with my name. Alright, so that's how I get the images in for the exercise 2. Then, for the third part of the assignment is you have to answer some questions. There's going to be 4 questions per assignment, and you have to provide an image with that. The response will be, and you're going to say the answer right there below. An artist may choose a horizontal. I want you to speak in complete sentences. Horizontal format. Now notice this is bold and italic, so I want to make sure if I want it bold and italics, maybe I want to do that. And then I make sure I answer the whole question and fill in the blank. But answer all parts of the question, and then it says provide one example image in the box below and tell me who the artist is. So again, I will have found an artist example and I've saved that off, and I'm going to go to my pictures from files and I'm going to pull in an artist picture. Let's see. I'll just go with any old picture that is in the right format. And I'm going to put that in there, and I want to resize it so that it fits in that box. And then I'm going to put a text box. I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to copy my formatting so that I don't have to reformat every time. I'm going to go back here, put my cursor there, paste, and I'm going to say, who is this artist? And it happens to be me, but I'm going to make this italicized. I'm going to say a walk in the park. That means it's a title, and then I'm going to take italics off by Colleen Reynolds. Now I'm going to click on the edge of that text box and then hold the Shift key down, select the image, and I'm going to align those to center so that the text lines up with the image. You're going to do the same thing for question 2 and the same thing for question 4. And so you're going to do that for each assignment specifically. I want you to have good images so that, for instance, if you have 3 images for one exercise, I would prefer you duplicate this slide and put twice and put the first image on the first page. And so I'm going to ungroup this for a moment and then move my caption down. You see how that little line comes up? That kind of helps you determine where the center of the page is. That's a quick, easy way to do it. Now I want to make this image as big as possible on the page. That will help both you and the future students. So now I know those text boxes are aligned because I aligned that one to center. Let me make sure I have that centered. Centered the text as well as the box. So when I move it around, see how it puts that center, tells me where the center is. So I don't have to do the align function. Okay, so and then go to the second page, delete the other 2, make it as big as possible. So this is a vertically oriented image. So what I want you to do is make it as big as possible on the page by rotating it, even though it's not quite right. I want a good image. And align that one to center. And put your caption in as if it is horizontal though. I'm going to say exercise 1.2 is whatever it is, line, drawing, rectangular format. You're not going to make the teacher guess at what you're trying to do, etc., etc. You're going to tell me what you're trying to drive at. But if it's a vertically oriented image, I want you to make it as big as possible on the page. And you're going to go to these 2 and delete this one. Again, make this as big as possible on the page. Center it up. And then add your caption. If you copy and paste an old caption and then just change the wording, then you don't have to redo the formatting each time. So, 1, if you need a second page, keep all of these terms in the same column. If you need to go to a second page, continue to the second page, duplicate the slide, and continue to the second page. If you have more than one image for an exercise, I prefer you make the image as big as possible on the page. Make sure you review the tutorial on how to get a good image capture. Here's exercise 2. There's only one image for this, but there's 3 frames, 3 different captions, so I know what you're trying to tell me. And then when you're answering questions, just a small image example that goes in the lower box, and answer the questions fully in complete sentences in the top portion, and then give me an image example in the bottom. Every image should have a caption, and this says to cite both the artist name and the title of the work. If it's not a title because you don't know it, that's not acceptable. But if the artist named it Untitled, you'll call it Untitled. All right, that's how you're going to put in the information you need to put in for the PowerPoint Part 2 portion of your exercises. You'll do this for each assignment that's due. Now you're going to save it off. Make sure you put it so that you know where it is. I recommend putting creating a separate file. Assignment 1, format, shape, and line. I want you to put your name. So this is Smith John, and you're going to put it in a file somewhere where you can remember it. Then you're going to come back to Canvas, go back to the main module again, and I'm in the module for format, shape, and line, which is assignment 1, and I'm going to go and I'm ready to submit my PowerPoint file that I have adjusted to assignment 1. And I'll click on assignment 1, and you can see as a student you'll submit the assignment, and then you'll choose your file and find the file where you saved it, and then you'll select open it. You can even add a comment if you want. Here is my assignment 1 submission. And they then say submit assignment. I'm not going to actually do that right now because this is just for illustration purposes. First we went to Canvas. We signed in as us. We found the appropriate assignment. 1, format, shape, and line PowerPoint file. We opened it. We downloaded the blank file to our hard drive. We brought it up, we tailored it for us. The first thing we did was we changed it so that it reflects our own name. We added our own theme in all the exercise pages. We answered all the questions, defined all the terms that are required. You have to define every one of them that's in there. If you need more space, you can duplicate a slide and put the remaining in the column. Keep the terms in the right column, and then upload your images for the exercises. Don't forget to put captions for every image. Don't forget to put in your theme in every page that calls for it. Once you type it in once, you can just copy and paste it so you don't have to keep retyping it for all your exercise slides. And then you're going to be responsible for answering all the questions specific to that assignment and providing an example image. And then you're going to save off your file with a new name so that I know it belongs to John Smith and not someone else. So don't forget to rename it with your name so that when you upload it to your file, it'll have your name attached to it. That's it for this tutorial. Thank you for listening. As you get going, it'll be more efficient each time. It'll just be plug and play.